Namaste, soul family. So I've been thinking to myself, and I, I've had many people, particularly from the feminine energy, come around me. Energy vampires. They were because there are people out there who rather than discovering themselves, they get caught up in wanting to be someone else. And from a very young age, I've learned and accepted that acceptance is really and truthfully the only way to be free. And pretty much when you start loving yourself, you will start transforming. You will start to transform into a wholesome, beautiful you. Now, beauty isn't a dogma. It's not a regime. It's not in the sense in which it's not a set way. Beauty comes in variations, varieties, and when you play too much into the matrix, the system, then your beliefs themselves become systemized and become transformed to those of the matrix itself, dogmas and status quos and all of that. Stop trying to figure out these celebrities, their routines, beauty regimes and all of that, because truthfully and in actuality, what works for them is not going to work for you. Most likely will not work for you. And there are many reasons and factors as to why this is so. For one, I must say, which is the most, primary reason as to why their, regimes will not work for you is because no two individuals have the exact same natal chart. And it's said this way because there is beauty in variety. And we're all here, spiritual beings having human experiences. Some of us older than some, regardless of the physical age. I'm talking in terms of the age of our souls. Okay, how long our souls have been, in existence, and have been, reincarnated. And so therefore, with experience comes wisdom, right? Our natal aspects, our natal composition, natal aspects just the same. They play a primary role in terms of what works for each and every one of us. And that is why, we should never allow ourselves to become covetous. Never give ourselves over to covetousness. Don't get envy, get inspired. And this goes for, not just self-care, but, in every area and facet of life. Relationships wise, like, for example, when I see a beautiful couple, I don't say, boy, I wish that guy was my guy, because I see how he treats that woman and how well they seem to synchronize and balance each other out and flow well together. That's their energies merging together, because they they, you know, are most likely soulmates, and they have the perfect blending of energies that, you know, creates that harmonious, beautiful, balanced relationship. You know, interrupting, interfering into that connection, and, you know, whether you're male or female, and get attached to either party, most likely you are not going to have that harmonious or beautifully balanced, you know, relationship with, you know, either of the parties, right? Because your energies are different. Like, for example, if you're a female, your energies are different from the females in, you know, in that connection. And if you're a male, your energies are different from the males, you know, energies in that, you know, relationship. So it's not about the egos, the facades, and you see people look good together, and you know, automatically surmise that, you know, I have this, I have that, I bet I would be a better fit, you know, for this person. I bet our relationship would be more harmonious, more balanced, and more beautiful. It's not that. It's not about the ego. It's not about what you have on a superficial level. It's about, you know, like I said, not just, but most primarily, you know, one's natal composition, you know, natal aspects, as well as it has a lot to do with past lives. So a lot of these people, they were lovers, they were, you know, they were connected in previous incarnations. What if you never had a connection with that person in a previous lifetime? You know, it's just gonna throw everything out of sync, and it's just gonna be off balance. You get what I mean? And so there's someone for everyone. And, you know, you find that someone for you when you find yourself, and you are, you know, trod in your north node. You know, now I'm gonna get back to, you know, the whole, you know, beauty regimes, and, you know, all of that, and routines. And like I said, that woman, you know, she was using that guy because she wanted to be like me, more like me. Mind you, she hates me, but yet she wants to be like me. And pretty much that's how it goes. Your, you know, our biggest haters, you know, it eventually becomes our, you know, biggest imitators. And, you know, pretty much a lot of times, you know, you see people hating on you is because they're envious of you. And so you don't pay them people any mind. You don't feed into their negativity and their, you know, low vibrations. It's just them, you know, blatantly telling not just you but the world that they wish they were you. Now, in terms, you know, of, you know, regimes and, you know, way of life, lifestyle, what goes for me and works for me, it's not gonna work for you. Point blank. Period. Dot. You know, it's as simple as that. The things that I eat that results in a beautiful me might, you know, result in a devastating you, an imbalance you, a nightmare you, and a very horrific, you know, insidious you, right? Because we have a lot of factors to consider. Like I said, one, most importantly, your natal composition, which is the natal aspects, the, you know, the frequencies the celestial bodies, you know, transited down to the very degrees, okay, of these transits or retrogrades. Okay, you have to consider all of them stuff too. Yeah. And your houses, your natal houses, you have to consider all of that, as well as the location one was born in, you know, their ethnicity as well. You have to also consider the family structure they were brought up in, whether it was dysfunctional, yes or no, because, you know, these experiences, they do affect our overall, you know, personas. Okay, some people, you know, growing up in dysfunctional families, they tend to be really emotionally, you know, imbalanced, disturbed, and broken, and maybe even, you know, mentally deranged. But for some of us, it's motivation. It makes us stronger. Okay, as well as, you know, the, you know, climatic conditions of the environments we were brought up in. And when I say climatic, I'm not just talking the weather conditions, whether it's the tropics, that too, but not just that. I mean also whether was it violent, was it stable, was it very quiet, very peaceful, all of them factors. And you just cannot change your upbringing. You were already brought up a certain way in a particular location, in a particular family, with a particular natal chart. It's just and all of this is so that people learn to know themselves and understand what works for you, instead of trying to know what works for other people and what what's best for other people, and what helped this or that person. You need to start investigating and start finding out what works best for you, what's harmonious for you. Okay, that's what's important. Okay, stop making things all about other people. Start making things about you. Not to say you're to be selfish. Be concerned about your fellow brethren, your fellow sister, but in the ways that matter. Like, are they okay? Is there anything I can do to help or assist? But not in some obsessive psychological ways in which you want to be like them, but yet at the same time you're hating on them. And for some people, you're not necessarily on these people. You idolize them, and nothing is wrong with being inspired by particular, getting inspiration from particular people, but you still have to remember that you're you, and the only way for you to find peace with you, or to find harmony, is to accept yourself, because acceptance is the key to truly and authentically be free. Okay, so it doesn't matter who you are, where you were born, where you're from, your natal aspects, your or composition, your upbringing, blah blah, your ethnicity. Just find what works best for you, because what works best for the next woman, most likely won't work best for you. Okay, and you have a lot of people, they've neglected their life purposes. They have gone off route, okay, of their life purposes, their north nodes, just because they want to live in someone else's. And you find that at the end of the day, you just wasted your entire specific incarnation, your that particular lifetime, because you didn't learn or discover anything in regards to your mission, which is about you. You're sent here on assignments, and you, instead of focusing on your assignment, you are focusing on someone else's. So the food that I eat, I eat a particular way, because okay, my mind, body, spirit, soul, they're synchronized, they're balanced. Okay, and my spirit knows what my body needs, not what it wants. And so it would relate to me, okay, eat this, eat that. And even if I don't like how it tastes, or how it looks, or the sound of it, or I don't want to, I still have to, because my body is subjected to my spirit. Like stuff like those, you want to ensure that you attain. And how we or dietary lifestyles, and the route to ascension as well, varies for each and every one of us. So how I attain balance is different from how you're gonna attain your balance. Okay, and the food that I eat, some of you, if you eat some of them, you may die, like ego death, physical death. Okay, and that's why it's not good to try to emulate other people, and try to be like other people, because that might be to your demise. So eating like me is not gonna make you look like me or think like me. Okay, me eating what I eat, what spirit leads me to eat. Okay, which is always divinely orchestrated and guided by the Great Spirit. Because like I said, my natal chart is one of divine, timing, divine order, and all of that, divine protection. And so therefore, I'm pretty much not my own. Um, Even if sometimes I get up and I say I want to have that, Spirit says no, you're not gonna have that, because it turns out that there are blockages for me to have certain things, to full, to satisfy the flesh, in other words. And so I've pretty much grown accustomed to that, you know. Just give yourself over to spirit, and not the negative, spirit, the low vibrational spirit, but spend more time with yourself. The COVID-19 is here for a particular reason. Though they're trying to create vaccines or cures for it, it is here for a purpose. And the more people try to renounce it or to push it away, the stronger it comes. Okay, there are more variants, and even deadlier variants, and even more contagious, deadlier variants of this virus. And I've said that before, the manifestation of it, because it was imparted upon me by God. Okay, and stop fighting the process. Isolate yourselves, meditate. Okay, discover yourselves, return to innocence. You see them, series of screenshots that I posted about the PFAs, them substances that they say is pretty much, harmful, and they're pretty much found everywhere now. I was led, during the outbreak. The initial, it wasn't, deemed a pandemic then. I think I was about January, late December, when I heard about it, and instantly Spirit led me to look up about the influenza virus that killed millions of people in during the years, I should say, 1918 to 1921 or 22. That's how long it lasted. Okay, COVID-19 might last longer, if not for a lifetime. Okay, it all depends on what the Spirit sees best, or fit for the highest purpose, the highest good rather, of the tribe of humanity, for us to ascend. And in the midst of all of that, I was intuitively brought to plastic, how plastic first came about. I think it was in what was that? Was that the 1900s or something? I think it was the 1900s or something. How they first started making plastic and so on. It was just really for things to last longer, but then they took it further up a notch to for it to be for convenience, for the lazy people. And now, in the age of Aquarius, the age of the humanitarian, the age of authenticity, is the age in which man and the earth must live together, in synchronicity and balance. All of these harmful substances and way of lives are now being discovered and exposed, and now we're seeing the harm and the detriments that they've imposed upon not just the earth, but humanity. Okay, and this is also found in the breast milk of mothers, nursing mothers, because it's pretty much everywhere. It's in the water supplies, it's in the fishes, the animals, it's everywhere. Furniture, what was it, stain proof carpets that people are trying to escape hardship, work. So a little wine got spilled on your carpet. Okay, just again deal with it. Wash it, clean it up immediately so it doesn't set in. Or if it happens that it's stained, so what? Get out of this perfectionism, frequency, because it's primarily, no, not primarily, but one of the major factors as to why we're here now, in all of this, chaos and detriment, right? And then you have the waterproof makeup and all of them stuff that contain the PFAs and all of that. But that's just because people are looking for so much convenience. People don't want to go bare skinned. People don't want to bear their flaws. Everybody wants to create illusions, and they want to make themselves look a certain way that they don't authentically look. And there's judgment. I said Aquarius is judgment, that judgment frequency, sound judgment, and after that, that's just like the precise karma, yeah. But Aquarius is a judge, sound judgment. So a lot is being realized, the age of enlightenment as well, because with judgment comes enlightenment and vice versa, where we're seeing that these weren't really for our good. There's a price to pay. Okay. And especially from a younger age, I suffered horrible OCD, in which I was such a perfectionist. I just always wanted things so perfect, so clean, so safe. So I would check the turn off knobs on the gas stove like 6 times before going to bed. I would ensure the locks on the doors are locked at least like maybe 6 times. Everything I did like 3, 6, 9. Okay, so it wasn't 3 times, it would be like 6 times or 9 times. And it was such it was so stressful on me, mentally being succumb to perfectionism, always wanting to be safe, always want, even with the cleaning, over cleaning, it was so stressful because whilst I could have been doing other things, I was just repetitively doing the same things over and over again because I wanted to ensure that there are no dirty laundries, there are no garbage on the floor, there are not saying I am um, a hoarder now or messy, but I would say I am balanced. Okay, I'm not. I don't feed into the whole perfectionism again because I realize that. Remember, I said I'm called to be balanced. Aquarius North Node, and so being so caught up with things, always wanting to, because OCD is always wanting to be in control, and being like that, it's really stressful, and separating from my son's father, getting divorced, being, out in the world, having to, you know, start my own company and all of that, put my mind to good use. It really, helped me with the OCD because I, realized, listen, I cannot be focusing and wasting so much mental prowess on being such a perfectionist on mundane things when there are more important issues at hand, like finding a means of income. So I created a company, and it's not something that's easy because I have to constantly do what spirit calls me to do and bids me to do, because it's not that I'm just gonna put out one video speaking truth and knowledge, and I'm just gonna suddenly go viral from that, and people are just gonna suddenly trust me to guide them. It's me proving myself over a period of years, to be who I say I am, to be who I am supposed to be, because it's a process, the creative process. It's a journey. Trust the process, and I'm gonna just do that because success that comes via hard work, when which we patiently put in the effort, it's success that lasts for generations, that ripples throughout generations. And I don't want my wealth to stop, just me, you know, just by me. I want my wealth to pass on to my sons and their children and their children's children and their children's children's children. Okay? And, that's how I believe it should be. I aided in their procreation, and I don't feel like they should be responsible for me when they, become 18 years old, or older, or in which they have to, finance my, prophetic life. If I, haven't done anything with my life meaningful. So I'm doing something meaningful with my life now, so that I don't have to look to my children to look after me, later on in life. I want it to be that I'm the one who, looks after them, leaving them a legacy of some sort. And so I don't play into lotteries and all of them stuff. Not, downplaying gambling and all of that, because puss and dog not the same love. But for me, I have to build whatever it is that I want. That's my also a part of my life purpose. Okay, and I'm just gonna go back to saying, just don't try to fill someone else's shoes. Don't try to walk in someone else's shoes. They're theirs for a reason. We're all called for, our own individual purposes. Okay, stop trying to be like people. I keep coming across people who are trying to steal my energies, trying to be like me, and these people, they don't even like me. They're not the appreciative fans who, oh, I love you, I'm gonna support you, I'm gonna donate to your cause, I'm gonna donate to support you on what you're doing and what you're saying. These are people who, they low-key watch me, they try to copy and emulate me, but at the same time, they don't like me, and they want to be me. They tell me I'm ugly, they tell me I'm skinny, I'm maga. That's the word that they use in Jamaica. Make me skinny and maga and dry up and all of that. But at the same time, they're trying to lose weight. And I'm like, at the same time, they're trying to figure out how I eat, what I eat. They're trying to eat like me. They're trying to live like me, and yet they tell me, that, the route that I'm taking is wrong. And that's why, them hateful people, they'll never discover themselves. The only way you can discover what works for you is to stop hating on me, stop focusing on me, and start focusing on yourselves. Okay? My route to ascension is different from yours. Okay? My diet is, different from yours. Some are called to be vegetarians, and some are called to be omnivores. Some are called to be carnivores. Okay, and then you have some who are called to, there's a portion of your life you are a herbivore, vegetarian if you want to call it, and another portion you're carnivore, or another portion you're omnivore. But how do you know? By discovering yourself. How do you know? By synchronizing with yourself, synchronizing, balancing your mind, body, soul, and spirit. Okay, so your spirit knows best. It knows everything that you need. Okay, and so therefore it will tell you. But if you're too focused on other people, then you're not going to be open to what your spirit is saying to you. You're going to be closed off because you're open to someone else. Okay? So, we're not all called, to eat the same things. Okay? We're not all called to the same faith, right? We're called, according to our own callings, our own, natal compositions, our own natal charts, okay, our own north nodes. And that is why it's important to get to know yourselves, have your natal charts read. That's a start. That's a very, very good start. Okay, because within that natal chart, You know, you will also discover whether or not it is that you're supposed to be vegan or vegetarian, herbivore, or if you're supposed to be a omnivore, or if you're supposed to be carnivore, okay? Or if you're supposed to be, you know, in this frequency at a particular phase in your life, and once you've had your first, you know, Saturn return, you're supposed to transition to another phase, okay? Your natal chart, all of that is, you know, explained, is revealed rather, in your natal chart, okay? So start there, you know, stop getting readings on other people and start getting readings on yourselves. Focus on yourselves and let's transcend to higher frequencies. Namaste.